distinction that the governor of France can present to someone. It is an order, a very old one. It has been created by the Emperor Napoleon I on May 19th, 1802. As an order, it is constituted as a body with an organization and a Grand Master. The Grand Master is the President of the Republic of France, who is the only one who is authorized to accept new members in the order. So it means that the decree that has been signed for veterans today has been signed by the President of the Republic himself. He is the only one able to do that. As an order, there are different levels. So we start with Knight, then you have Officer, Commander, Grand Officer, and Grand Cross. So the medals that are going to be presented today are the level of Knight. So that's why the way I will tell you a little bit how it's going to happen. So our friends and our heroes today are going probably to be somewhere there in the middle. And for each of them, I am going to read the citation. So a very, very short text which is going to explain what they did and why we are presenting this medal today. Mr. Harry Hepburn. Born on November 28, 1921 in Toronto, Mr. Hepburn enlisted on May 7, 1942. Trained as a navigator, he completed numerous operations against the enemy, in the course of which he invariably displayed the utmost fortitude, courage, and devotion to duty. Engaged with the 4026th Squadron of the Royal Canadian Air Force, Flying Officer Hepburn has completed 29 sorties with more than 130 hours over enemy territory. By his work in the air and on the ground, he has constantly been an inspiration and example to all. His keenness and devotion to duty and his coolness in the face of danger has set a splendid example. Mr. Hepburn has been awarded the Distinguished Flying Cross. Mr. Harry Hepburn.
Harry Hepburn, au nom du Président de la République et en vertu des pouvoirs qui nous sont conférés, nous vous faisons chevalier de la Légion d'honneur.
How you doing?
No, I don't, me neither.
What a day. What a day. Who could ever imagine it? With a great caring family and friends, I have it all made. It's amazing, and I thank you all for coming out, being with me on this occasion. This is a very auspicious occasion. It's just not a normal thing that happens to a person. I can't even tell you what it is, the total thing, without reading it. But it turned out to be the Medal of Honor of France. Now, for me, and it is wonderful to have most of the family, friends to join together on this occasion. And I thank you all for attending, and it means a great, great deal to me. Now, I'm going to have a little talk here.
Fourth two,
It
Harry.
says at the top of this thing, opening remarks.
Fourth two.
Opening remarks. It is a great honor for me to have received the Knight of the National Order of the Legion of Honor. The Knight of the National Order of the Legion of Honor. Wow. That's something. From the President of France yet. Given on behalf of those flying over France in those hectic bombing raid times. The Legion of Honor is awarded in recognition of those who had a professional involvement in the liberation of France. Through the Legion of Honor award, France remembers the sacrifice of those fighters who came over to liberate French soil, often losing their lives in the process. Now, what that says is that I am a figurehead representing those involved in the Bomber Command program. And I'm very fortunate to be here. It says here, repeat this part. I think I'll do that. The Legion of Honor is awarded in recognition of those who had a professional involvement in the liberation of France. Through the Legion of Honor award, France remembers the sacrifice of all those flyers who came over to liberate French soil, often losing their lives in the process. That's what it's all about. Now, hard way to. I didn't feel I wanted to go through any one of my tours, any one of my operations, say to Stuttgart or to wherever we're flying. They could bore the hell out of all of you, but someday we can maybe do that. But anyway, I recently read an article in the Air Force magazine that struck me as being apropos to the days spent flying over Europe. I would like to read this article to you now. It's basically my speech, written by someone else, but some editing by myself. It was written on Remembrance Day. Okay, that's true. I'll get to it. November the 11th, when it was first written. It was written by a padre, a 412, 418 squadron. And he titled it, The Black Granite Wall. The Black Granite Wall. Didn't mean a damn thing to me when I first read that. I almost didn't continue on with it. But it caught a hold of me and I thought, well, what's that all about? We'll carry on. In Nanton, Alberta, 60 miles south of Calgary, there's an Air Force museum. On this black wall, which is 39 feet long, are the names of all those men who lost their lives serving with Bomber Command during World War II. The number is 10,643 people in Bomber Command. Of this total, 264 were Canadians in the Royal Canadian Air Force, and 379 were Americans. Americans who came up to join us, and they didn't need to, but they came. They had a desire to help us win this war. I had an American in my squadron. The mid-upper gunner was an American named Callahan. And what a guy he was. A typical American. He had more money than we did. Father Lardy is a Hamilton diocese, of the Hamilton diocese, was an RCF chaplain serving with number 6 All-Canadian Group in Yorkshire, England. Now, 6th group was formed by the Canadian government, and we were allocated by the British Yorkshire. Yorkshire, the whole part of Yorkshire was allocated to Canadians. It was allocated on July the 20th, 1942. The war had been on since '39. But when the Canadians were going over there, prior to that time, they went over and joined the RAF, Royal Air Force, and flew with the RAF. That worked very well, except that our general in Canada wanted us to be separate, to have our own commander, have our own command, and they called it 6th Group. Why they call it 6th Group? I have no idea. I would love to tell you. I can't tell you. All I can tell you is that 6th Group composed of about, and I have got a total there, about 20 squadrons. All began with 412, 416, 426, 419, 429. Every one of these were now equipped and manned by Canadians. I know it's me. So that's what happened there, and everything there, it was 428, 429, squadrons like that, and that's how it was formed, 6th Group. Now, 3,000 miles across. This is a little touchy for me. I get a little iffy. 3,000 miles across 100 ocean, they came, wearing on the shoulder of their tunics the treasured name of Canada. Telling the world their origin. Young men and women, 20 years old to 24, and that was an old one. Fashioned by their maker to love, but not to kill, not to kill. And we were fashioned that way on birth. We were fashioned to love and not to kill. Telling the world their origin, young men and women were fashioned to make her to love, not kill. But proud and earnest in their mission to stand, and if it had to be, to die for the country and for freedom. One minute, please. My nose is leaking. I'm almost finished. One day, when the history of the 20th century is finally written, it will be recorded that when society stood on the crossroads and civilization itself was under siege, the Royal Canadian Air Force was there to fill the breach and help give humanity the victory. And all those who had a part in it will have left to posterity a legacy of honor, courage, valor. They can never be forgotten. Father J.P. Lardy, Chaplain 1942A Squadron, wrote the majority of that in November the 11th, 1944. Thank you once again for coming and listening to this. I know it's been maybe too short, and I should have maybe did a little better job, but it was from the heart. Thank you again. We went to the airplane with 11,000 pounds of bombs. 11,000 pounds of bombs. And when you look down at them, hanging very fragile there, I thought. Because we're bouncing along this runway. Runways aren't like they are today. They were a little bouncy, and the aircraft weren't so good either. And I was sitting up the front. If you took off, and anything ever happened to an engine, and you lost RPMs in flight, the only thing that a pilot could do would be to go right ahead and land as best as he could out the end of the runway on a farmer's field, which they had pretty well dug up, and that had occurred. Engines do fail. But when you've got 11,000 pounds on board, and you're running down that airport, that thing, it's a scary time. That was a scary time for me. That was my number one scary time, was on takeoff. Chris might know something about that. I don't know whether it's his scary times or not, but it was mine. Because I had all that weight on my ass. Now, what's the second one? Second scariest time? Reaching the target that you were given for the night on time. As a navigator, no one in the airplane knew where the hell we were going but you. So you would hope that you knew what you were talking about, and that you had a good pilot who, when you told him to fly a course, he flew it. He didn't fly 1 degree off or 1 degree over here. He worked and he flew it. I was fortunate. I had a pilot that did just that. He had a navigator also that worked hard to get as many fixes in as much time as I could do. I was busy all the time. A fix is finding where you are by the moon and the stars. That's all we had. We had no stuff like they got today. It just floors me. He just pushed the button. Unbelievable. Yeah. If we could have had that, just imagine. Anyway, when you're up there and you're going 4 hours to, say, Stuttgart, to bomb someplace that's got ball bearings. So you're headed on the course that was given to you at your briefing, at your station. Now you've got 7 guys with you. You've got all this bombs in your bay, which you want to drop and be loyal and hit something. You don't want to arrive at a certain time that you're supposed to be over the target and find out that there's no target there. You missed it. You either flew past it or you're not there yet. or you may be 50 miles off base because of a high wind. Winds up there change very fast, don't they, Chris? And unless you caught them fast, you could be 50 miles that way. And you want to drop them over here. So consequently, it became very important because you don't want to waste your time and your effort and all your men that you're on doing it with you for nothing. So, time is important. When you take off, somebody says to you, now you're going to be on the target for 15 minutes and your time is going to be 4:10. It means that you got 15 minutes for you to be over that target and drop your bombs. Why is it important? There's probably 100, 200 airplanes right behind you or in front of you. And there are different altitudes so that we don't hit each other. It's dark night, we're black. You don't see anything. You just take a chance, fly the course, and make sure you correct the speed of the aircraft so that it matches the distance you got to go. So when you reach that target, you're not too early and overshoot it. You're not too late and have bombers over top of you, dropping bombs through your wings, which happens. It's really sad, but it happens. It boils, so that boils down to my worst fear. Maybe not as bad as takeoff. Takeoff was worse to me. But this other one, you could control. You could speed up or slow down. And there was only once when on that Stuttgart raid, I reached it, and the time that they gave me to arrive at the target was within a half a minute away, just seconds. And I didn't see a damn thing. Black as hell. And that really scares you when you think that, what are you going to do now? And you're going through the air pretty fast. And you're going to let everybody down by going right over the target and not dropping your bombs on it. You cannot come around again. You're going into the stream. You will kill yourself and others. So consequently, time. One of the things on my second tour when I was instructing, I would teach my students. Time. So anyway, that's what I thought I would say. And I don't think we need to go much further on that, but did you find that interesting?
Yes.
Thank you very much. And that's it for me. I've just run out of paper. So that's good, guys. That's good. Well, the worst time. Stop for a minute. And it became very clear to me what they were. Because I was very frightened at those times.
Thank you.